morning. Good to see all of you here. In my reading through the Bible, I've been coming with communion meditations on Ephesians. Today I wanted to deviate just a little bit. In my reading through the Bible, I'm in, actually just got into Joshua, but I've finished the book of Deuteronomy. And something there struck me that I think was interesting, and I think that good for us to review here. So in the last few chapters of Deuteronomy, Moses laid out the fact that he was not able to go into the promised land. He did not lead the sons of Israel into the promised land. So here in Deuteronomy, the 31st chapter, so Moses went and spoke these words to all Israel, and he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to come and go, and the Lord has said to me, you will not cross this Jordan. It is the Lord your God who will cross ahead of you. He will destroy these nations before you, and you shall dispossess them. Joshua is the one who will cross ahead of you, just as the Lord has spoken. Now, I didn't see this possibly before, but it said, it is the Lord who will cross ahead of you. And then he says, then Joshua is the one that will cross ahead of you. And then here in chapter 34, and just being brief here, verses 4 and 5, then the Lord said to him, this is the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And so he's showing him the land, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I will let you see it with your eyes, but you shall not go over there. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord. So he could see all the land, the physical land that God was giving to the children of Israel. Here in Revelations, God is showing us a representation. I believe it's symbolic, it's figurative, but I'm not going to read it all because it's a somewhat long description. But here in chapter 21, then I saw the new heaven and the new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth passed away, and there was no longer any sea. It's significant that the first heaven and the first earth passed away. That the new heaven is not going to be here on earth. It's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. But he's given us the view that Moses had of the promised land here in Revelations, a significant overview of what is to come for those that are following Jesus Christ. So who is it then? What do you mean that the Lord will lead, and that Joshua then is the one? What do you mean? Well, here in John, the 14th chapter, verse 6, it says, and this should be a memory verse for everyone. And Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. Let me start by saying Jesus is the Greek rendition of the name Joshua. Joshua is going to lead us. Joshua leads us into the promised land. He went before us. He died on the cross, which I'm getting to in a minute. He died on the cross for us, those that have accepted that. And he is Joshua. the Savior. Joshua means that Jehovah saves. Here in Colossians, the 2nd chapter, talks a little bit about that, what happened on the cross. Having been buried with him in baptism, in which you were also raised up with him through faith in the working of God, who raised him from the dead, when you were dead in your transgressions and the uncircumcision of your flesh, he made you alive together with him, having forgiven all your transgressions, having canceled out the certificate of death consisting of decrees against us, which was hostile to us. He has taken it out of the way and nailed it to the cross. Jesus Christ, when he went to the cross, that Old Testament is nailed to the cross for those who have been buried with him. Those that have not been buried with him in baptism still are dead in their transgressions and sins. As we come now, we remember that Jesus Christ went to the cross. He died. Now, we participate in that. As Terry pointed out earlier, we participate in that death, burial, and resurrection. The part Jesus died, his blood was shed on the cross. His body was broken for us, that we might believe and be saved through that death, burial, and resurrection. As we come now, remember Jesus Christ.